Check, check.
My check.
Hey, Nolan. Chair, we have quorum. Thank you.
Hello and welcome everybody to our May general meeting. I call this meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. We have quorum, so now we'll move on to roll call. District 1 Commissioner Mishra is not here. District 2 Commissioner Pradeep Kumar.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Sanchez is not here. District 4 Commissioner Arroyo is not here, so we'll move to District 5 Commissioner Liu.
Present.
District 6 Commissioner Bansal.
Present.
District 7 Commissioner Vu.
Present.
District 8 Commissioner Gonzalez Munoz.
Present.
District 9 Commissioner Singh.
Present.
District 10 present. Citywide Commissioner Kuczerski.
Present.
Moving on to item 2, consent calendar. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Commissioner Vu motions.
Any seconds?
Commissioner Gonzalez, we need seconds that motion.
Please vote on your screen. And the vote passes unanimously 8-0. So we will move on to item 3, public record. Do we have any public record or correspondence today?
No, go ahead and move on.
Cool. Moving on to item 4, open forum. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on an item not on today's agenda?
Yes, we do have one, Megan Malloy.
Hello. Good evening, Youth Commission. You all know me. I want to take this moment to express how incredibly proud I am of each one of you. I've had the privilege of watching you, in fact, all of you, grow into this role since you were freshmen and sophomores. It's been an absolute joy to witness your evolution to the thoughtful, engaged young leaders you are today. I remember from your first hesitant comments during meetings to now look at you. You've grown from students just beginning to explore civic engagement into articulate young leaders who challenge assumptions and bring fresh perspectives to complex issues. Your growth hasn't just been in knowledge or skills, those have certainly blossomed, but in the confidence with which you advocate for your communities. The dedication you've shown, the creativity you bring to difficult issues, and your willingness to speak up for what matters has been incredibly inspiring. You've tackled unique challenges with maturity, spent countless hours researching problems, debating solutions, and implementing projects that have made tangible differences. all while exercising the utmost patience to learn the slow bureaucratic process of local city government. After all, who'd have thought in what one people consider just a group of teenagers that you would not only navigate the labyrinth of municipal code, but actually change it to be more inclusive in just 1 year? Because of all of you showing up and speaking out, when I tell someone about the Youth Commission, people actually know what I'm talking about, a recognition in and of itself. As you prepare to move on, remember what you've learned from this role, how to listen deeply, speak honestly, and collaborate effectively. It will serve you throughout your lives and wherever you go. Please know, working alongside you has been one of the greatest honors in my career. The impact you made won't fade when you leave this commission. And while I'll miss all of your presence at meetings and bringing me coffee, I take comfort in knowing that you're carrying these experiences forward with you in your next chapters, and I'll be watching with pride and excitement to see where your paths lead next. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey.
Thank you. I think on behalf of the Youth Commission, we are indebted to the service and for the imprint that you made on all of us. On behalf of all the seniors, we will continue to keep in touch, and we thank you for your mentorship, and to the juniors and younger, I'm sure that they will continue to blossom under you. So thank you so much for all that you do for us. Do we have any other members of the public who wish to speak, though?
No, we don't.
Okay, great. We will then move on to item 5A, Informational San Jose Public Library Summer Learning Program, presented by Senior Librarian Paul Wilson.
All right, good morning, or good evening, everyone. Name is Paul Wilson, Senior Librarian with the Almaden and Vineland branches of the San Jose Public Library. And I also coordinate the library's literacy programs, their summer learning, winter reading, Halloween book giveaway, and a few other programs. So, oops. All right, there we go. So for summer learning, we're going to talk just a little bit about the program itself, the details, the prizes, an additional participation activity, plus a little bit about our supplemental program, the graphic novel making contest, which runs in tandem with the summer learning program. So overall, the summer learning program has 4 main goals. It is there to help build strong communities, provide fun learning opportunities for readers of all ages, celebrate overall reading and literacy, and it's designed to reach community-wide, so throughout the city, like I said before, all ages and income levels throughout the city. So we try and make it as inclusive as possible. So this year, the program has the basics are, we ask everyone to sign up on our online program aggregator, Beanstack. It comes as a website and a mobile app. We don't require a library card for participation. We do encourage one, but it is not required. We also last year introduced the option to allow students in the city to use their student cards for registration as well. Program runs for 2 months, all of June, all of July. Pre-registration runs this year, runs the month of May. So folks can sign up early and not get a head start on their reading, but they can sign up, and when June 1st hits, they get a reminder that the program is underway and they can start logging their reading at any time. We offer numerous giveaways and prize drawings for both sign up and participation. And folks that do sign up and can seek assistance if they have any questions, either online through our Ref Chat program or in person at any library branch during open hours. So the overall structure of the program is we offer it to all ages, but it's broken into 5 age groups. We have pre-readers, readers, preteens, teens, and adults. They track their reading on Beanstack. That is what allows them to be eligible for our prizes. So we do the drawings are done electronically using the Beanstack system. Also, we do have paper logs that we provide for kids mostly, but for all ages. If you want to have fun and track your reading on paper and then transfer it to Beanstack, you are welcome to do that as well. The goal of the program, just read 8 total books or 8 total hours of reading between June 1st and July 31st. Log your reading on Beanstack, and you're eligible to win a grand prize at the end of the summer. We offer, like I said, participation prizes as well. So when you do sign up, you get youth up to ages 18, get a book for signing up and a book for reaching their 8-hour reading goal. There's also an additional giveaway prize that they can get for participating in a community project map. It's an optional activity. Each branch offers a fun interactive map on site that folks can track their reading on physically. And then adults, this year we also introduced the options for adults to get giveaway prizes for both signing up and completing their 8 hours or 8 books of total reading. Folks, when they sign up, they're given the option on Beanstack to select one of the 2 programs, either 8 hours or 8 books of total reading, and they go from there. Summer program, it's our biggest program, reading literacy program in the system. We offer 1 grand prize for each age group per each branch. So for 25 total locations in the system, that's 5 grand prizes per site. It's 125 total. This year, youth who register early in the month of May will be eligible to win tickets to a San Francisco Giants game. We began that offering last year, and it was popular enough we wanted to continue it this year. Additionally, those who sign up and complete the program in June and July will also be eligible to win tickets for Bay FC or San Jose Earthquake soccer game later in the summer. The program finally is weighted, so the more you read, the better your chances are of winning a grand prize or a sporting event ticket prize. So the initial goal is 8 books, 8 hours, but you can read up to 64 total books or 64 total hours. And every step of 8 is considered an additional goal. Then the more you read, the higher your chances are of getting that additional, getting that grand prize. So that's basically how the program's set up. This year, our reading log, we introduced a different style of reading log that is half reading log, half brochure. It'll be a double-sided piece that'll have the log on one side where folks can track either their minutes read, you can see the 20-minute intervals up there, or their books read. They can have fun and include a little self-portrait plus a little biographical information if they want to. Again, this part is totally optional. It'll be available to those who sign up. The beginning of June, all the branches will get hard copies of this piece next week. Branches will also get copies in additional languages as well, including Spanish, Chinese, and Vietnamese. The reverse side will have a bunch of information about the rest of the summer. There'll be a calendar of events, a message for Jill, perks of having a library card and having a library membership, a little bit of promotion about the grand prizes, and a little promotion about upcoming programs in the graphic novel making contest. So just as a last reminder, prizes are offered, not just grand prizes, but participation prizes as well. Folks have the opportunity to get, kids have the opportunity to get books for signing up and completing the program. Adults will have the chance to get cute stickers or a fun button for doing the same. Grand prizes this summer, they change every year. But grand prizes this summer include age-appropriate toys and educational products for every single reading category. There is a talking book kit for toddlers and pre-readers. Pre-readers are those ages 0 to 5. There's soccer equipment for our most popular registration group. There's electronics for preteens. Teens will have a chance to win a vintage record player, an electronic and a personal coffee mug for adults. We will pick the winners in early August for all the grand prizes. Some of the participation prizes, including the San Francisco Giants tickets, will be selected from those who signed up early at the beginning of June. Our community progress map is a promotional tool we introduced last year and brought back this year. And it's basically to make a physical map to promote on site at the library itself, where folks can have a chance to move their tokens along a large board and track their reading as they come into the library. Folks that participate will get an optional prize that they can take home with them. Every branch will create their own sort of progress map. This is just an example of what it could look like. And it can be as decorative or detailed as they like, as long as they track at least 8 hours or 8 books of reading. So that will go into effect the beginning of when the program starts June 1st. Quick timeline. The program kicks off along with the graphic novel making contest June 1st. Each branch will hold what we call a kickoff program to celebrate the start of summer learning sometime between June 1st and June 14th. July, we will, the last week in July, we'll have a little bit of programming and promotion to celebrate National Soccer Day, as well as the end of the summer learning program. And we'll have a final push that in that regard. August is when all the grand prizes will go out, as well as when the tickets to the soccer matches for Bay FC and the Earthquakes will get awarded. And then the graphic novel making contest, while it wraps up at the end of July, they'll have an award ceremony here at City Hall, September 13th, which is a Saturday. Usually Jill attends that, as well as at least 1 or 2 members of the city council. At that award ceremony, winners are selected from all the submissions, and everyone who submitted a comic is recognized at that event as well. Just as this summer, while we hand out all of our giveaways and everything else, we also have a reference sheet that customers can pick up as well. Talks a little bit about the structure of the program, important dates, and what they can get by signing up and completing the program. And then last but not least, this summer, we also have an outreach program where we bring the library to summer meal sites. Meal sites are typically schools, but they also can be community centers and other youth centers across the city that offer lunch throughout for about any time usually between mid-June and late July. Each branch usually goes to 2 or 3 different sites a couple of times each, offers up free books to give away, as well as can offer a story time for our littlest lunch participants, as well as craft activities for some of the older participants. Usually at Summer Lunch Outreach, it's mostly kids from grades 3 through 6, but every now and then we'll get older kids and younger kids as well. We have 15 branches participating all across the city in each of the different council districts. This program is a development from our on-site summer lunch program that we offered for a good 5 to 6 years until about 2023, when we transitioned away from on-site meal service and took our wares to summer meal sites themselves. So we'll continue that. And then last but not least, mentioned our graphic novel making contest runs in conjunction with summer learning. Folks can submit up to an 8-page comic of their own design. They have 5 different submission levels as well. We take both hard copy submissions and folks can submit their entry online. Last year, we accepted 200 contest entries and we had over 300 people attend the award ceremony. Throughout June and July, branches also host comic and writing related programs that are in support of the graphic novel making contest to help folks who are interested draw better, write better, put together different sort of comic skills. If they're interested, lots of our branches participate. It's usually at least half of the branches sign up for comic making programs throughout the summer to support this. And I think it really helps boost participation and interest in the program. So, and then the duct tape is an example of a winning entry from last year. It was submitted by an Audrielle Walker. I believe she was about 11 or 12, so it was our preteen category. But it's an example of what a winning comic can look like for this contest. So that is our summer learning program and our graphic novel making contest. Do any of you all have any questions?
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, we don't.
Okay, then we will move to commission discussion. Do any commissioners have questions about the presentation? Commissioner Liu.
Thank you. And I love, excuse me. I love how in the presentation, 18-year-olds are both classified as youth and adults. I think, a new term might be in the making, teen adults. I'll give the library the copyrights to the word. As a joke. Anyways, all jokes aside, I have a few questions. First, for the summer learning program itself and the goals for the amount of books or reading hours that folks get to meet. If a person is under the age of 18 and they want to participate in this program, can they do that, or do they also need parental permission to be able to participate and enter in some of these contests?
Anyone under 18 can participate on their own.
Okay.
They can sign up on their own on the Beanstack app or the Beanstack website. Usually what happens is children will sign up under their parents' name,
Okay.
but they don't need their parents' permission. Teens and preteens can sign up on their own. Beanstack gives the option for youth older than age 12, I believe, to sign up on their own.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. And I think, if I'm not wrong, the summer learning has been around for a little bit, right?
Yes.
This past year and going into this year, how was the participants? Did the goals that you set out for the program get met in terms of the amount of participants that were able to participate in the program?
Yes, for participation, we've done really well since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And since the library reopened in 2021. We've gone up every year since then. Last year, we had over 10,500 signups, and we had about 3,700 completions. So it's about a completion rate of about 35% for all age groups.
Okay.
And that's the highest it's been in several years. And I've tracked, for success, I've tracked
Yeah.
both signups and the completion rate to see if they both can increase, and they both have. This past year, the 35% completion rate was the highest it had been since at least 2019.
Yeah.
And it's good to have, I like to see each reading group increase their participation.
Right.
And that doesn't always happen, but this past year, it did happen where every single reading group went up at least a couple of percent. Adults and teens saw the biggest jump in participation
Interesting.
rate. Both went from about 31% to about 35%. But yes, we try and track both total signups and total completions to make sure they both are higher than they were the year before.
Yeah.
This year, the goal is to reach 11,000 total signups overall. So we're on a good track so far with the pre-registrations. But yeah, that's our goal, is to go up a little bit every year.
Yeah, perfect. And I know that you know what I'm about to say, but you know, a few thousand folks participating in the program, that's a large number, right? A population. But I think, you know, even I had a conversation with, you know, Hillview branches and those community and those branches and those types of communities, and they have a hard time engaging with even the high school that's, you know, closest to them, and you know that's the campus and the branch is not really far from each other. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure you're working and communicating with the schools to try to get folks engaged with it. But I just wanted to, you know, make sure that that's on top of your mind to also find, you know, new innovative ways to be able to engage those folks.
Right, right. And the big point of the pre-registration window is to engage schools
Yeah.
and kids before they get out of school at the end of May
Yeah.
and early June. Last few years, we've had about a 2-week window for staff to do this. This year, we opened it up for a whole month.
Yeah.
So folks have been reaching out to schools since the beginning of May.
Right.
And when the program starts and schools get out, we hope that that push has been successful, but we're also encouraging staff to mention the program at all of their in-person events, just sort of promote it really quickly
Yeah.
during an intro for their weekly events like story time and their Teens Reach meetings, and anytime a paid presenter comes through town, as well as some of the programs that target older kids and adults, like the English language learning, whether we have any sort of coding programs or gaming programs. And then the summer lunch outreach is another avenue we use to push the program during the summer months when school's already out. We try and include as many high schools as we can in that outreach, and then meet kids there and their families, and promote as much as we can.
All right, thank you. And last question. I know my fellow commissioners are, I think, sleeping on me. I know that you know, we have presentation from someone who also knows a little bit more about the library cards. But you know, something I'd love to see is, you know, for students who do hold a student library card, I'd love to see, you know, a timeline or a recommendation of programs that folks can engage with. Maybe it's, you know, something like a game where, you know, you complete level 1 by participating in, you know, summer learning, and then level 2 is another library program, and at the end of that it's some type of award. Right, so that was my 2 cents, but thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Kuczynski.
Hi, thank you so much
Sure.
for your presentation, and thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. We really appreciate the report, especially since you gave so much information in this one. I really like how the library has grown with this program, and I do think it really does have an impact on children during the summer. Because I remember when I was a kid, I did something similar at the library. I'm not sure if it was the same, but I definitely appreciated that, and it's like a core childhood memory. So you're definitely doing something. But one question I had, and I'm just curious about that. It's like a personal question, but for the prizes, where does the funding come from?
The funding for the prizes comes from the city budget. we have a little bit of money that we spend, are able to spend each year. It's about $5,000 worth that comes from the city budget funds. And we use that to purchase the prizes. We also have money that is donated from our various friends chapters, and we put that into a fund that can supplement the city budget as well. We do put a cap on the amount of money we spend on prizes just to make sure that we can it stays reasonable. This year it's usually between $50 and $75 per prize item. But yes, we have city funds and a mix of library donated funds that cover the prizes for the program. In terms of the professional sports giveaways, those are donated prizes. The San Francisco Giants donate ticket vouchers to libraries across the Bay Area who show interest. And San Jose Library last year got 500 vouchers. So each voucher is good for two tickets. So to make it more family friendly, we just paired up the vouchers as prizes. So each winner got 2 vouchers so they could take up to 4 people. And that allowed us to award 250 vouchers last year. This year, we're getting 250 total vouchers. So we'll be able to award 125 pairs of ticket vouchers to folks to go to a Giants game beginning of June through the end of September. The window is a little wider this year. Last year, the window that folks could use those tickets was pretty small. It was like 6 weeks. And I think that limited some interest from some folks. But this year, that was one of the feedback I gave them, was to make the offering a little bit bigger. And I'm glad they took that to heart. But the sports tickets are donated to the Earthquakes. We partnered with them this year to promote our new reading log, and well as to offer tickets. So they're going to donate a few dozen, and same with the Bay FC team. And it'll be for a specific game in August or September. I'm not quite sure which, but yeah, the physical grand prizes are purchased. A lot of the giveaways are donated prizes. So it's nice to have a good mix. And I think the prizes often determine the interest level, especially for the kids. And that's another reason we have overlap in the different age groups for the reading groups, is if someone is on that bubble age of 12 and maybe they want a teen prize instead of whatever we're offering for preteens, they can sign up as a teen and be eligible for that specific prize group. And the same with teens and adults. The 18-year-old doesn't want a record player, and they want maybe something the other prize, they can sign up as an adult instead of it as a teen. So you don't have to read specific books for that age, but the prizes try to be as age appropriate as we can, and then give folks a little wiggle room to enjoy make a choice in what they want to win.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Any other commissioners have questions? I have one. So it got me thinking, because I saw a bullet point which said that was open to all Bay Area residents of all ages. And so each of us commissioners represents a different sort of area in San Jose. And so I was wondering, is there any, I know this might be too niche, but any geographical data on perhaps which areas of San Jose are more involved, whether it's at a district level or just like north, south, east, west? Are there any areas in San Jose which are more involved or seen more engagement over time with the program than others? And if so, what are some potential ways to engage those other areas which haven't seen it? I know this might be a little bit too niche, but if you have any data, that would be great.
Typically, the high participation areas are Willow Glen, south to Almaden, over to Cambrian. So District 9, District 10, I believe it's District 6, and I'm not sure what Willow Glen is, but it's kind of central south to southwest. But last year, we made a good push to promote the program more on the east side of town. And we've got good participation from District 7 and District 5, particularly. So we're hoping that continues this year. We haven't done a specific marketing push this year like we did last year because we changed up the design of the program and offered some new things that caused our marketing team to spend more than money this year. But we're hoping that our outreach with the schools and our outreach with community centers and other partners in the community keep that push going. I know District 7 has a good team with the libraries in that district. So hopefully that it keeps going, but we had good increases last year in District 2 and District 8 as well, to kind of keep the interest and the participation up. But yeah, year after year, it typically is strongest Willow Glen to Almaden over the Cambrian area. So whatever districts those cover.
Got it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Any other commissioners have questions? Okay, thank you so much for your
Alright.
presentation. It was great learning about the program. We will now
Alright.
move on to item 5B,
Thank
San
you.
Jose, no problem. San Jose Public Library Expanded Learning by Senior Librarian Lizzie Nolan.
Hi, good evening. I'm so excited to be with you all on one of your final Youth Commission evenings if you are a senior. As you remember, I've been around supporting the Youth Commission for quite some time. So it's been amazing, as Megan said, watching you grow. And I know that comes from Megan's heart. So it was so nice to hear her say all of that. I am today presenting on some of the new work I've been doing. I know you've all been wondering, where is Lizzie? What is she doing? This is what it is. So I'll go ahead and get started. Try it one more time. Okay, Google, turn the slide. Am I doing it right? Did it turn off? Cool. Thanks, Em. So I can start. I am delighted to share with you today the work of our expanded learning unit. We're going to explore some current initiatives and some future opportunities for the work the library does with out of school time and after school time. So our discussion is going to start with data and why we do what we do, and then move on to our work plan. When we examine student success matrix, we see some concerning trends. Only 54% of third graders are reading at grade level. These numbers are even lower for students of color, students with disabilities, and low-income students. Similar achievement gaps exist in 8th grade math scores, with only 50% of students learning math at grade level. These stats make one thing clear: some students need extra support. And the data really highlights a critical question that really drives the work of the Expanded Learning Unit. Who needs the library the most, and how can we better serve them? This is the core question that we ask ourselves anytime we do our work, and it shapes everything that we do. Who's we? It includes myself. I'm the senior librarian here in Expanded Learning. I'm supported by two amazing staff people. The first is Stephanie Segovia, who manages our SJ Learns and Tutoring Matters programs, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then Elizabeth Barragon is our full-time librarian who supports our student library card and our STEM initiatives, amongst many other things. So taking a look at the work we do, citywide, we collectively offer over 82,000 programs annually to support our students. The number is quite impressive, but it's really about the quality and targeting of these programs that matters. Our unit focuses on key areas: So I'll start with library program. We collaborate with our library staff at our 24 branches to deliver quality after-school programs and strengthen connections with schools, with class visits, school outreach, as well as programs that support STEAM, literacy, art, and academic support. Building on our in-house programming, we've created a bridge directly to classrooms through our library card initiative, which I know many of you are aware of. We've built partnerships with 24 school districts to provide student library cards that deliver access to resources, as well as specialized educator cards to support teachers. And then our third pillar is our SJ Learns. This is a grant-funded program that offers high-dose tutoring as well as low-ratio extended academic support for transitional kindergarten through 8th graders. We will look now at each of these pillars a little bit more closely. First up is library programming. We are rolling out a wonderful new system-wide STEM program set to launch in the fall of 2025. And the goal of this is to establish a core program that would happen at all of our library locations, starting in the fall, that is focused on some of our younger elementary students. Additionally, we've partnered with an organization called Bay Area Tutoring, or BATA, for a 6-week summer-long reading intensive for elementary students at Biblioteca, and then for our older elementary middle school students at our Seven Trees branch, and that's known as Estrada de Saber. Hopefully you've got that in your packet. It's the big bright blue flyer there. We also work with an organization called One in Math, which provides ongoing fundamentals, math fundamentals for our K through 3 learners, and that's at Joyce Ellington as well as Seven Trees, and we're hoping to expand that in the fall as well. We're also involved in our quality standards process and reviewing all at least one program at all of our branch locations in STEM, literacy, academic support, and art. Looking ahead, we are also planning to implement a program called Reading Partners, which is a high dosage tutoring program to support our struggling readers, free at a few library locations this fall. Moving on to library cards. One of our biggest highlights that we had this year that we'll share is a successful student school library card day at Shepherd Middle School in the Alum Rock School District, which devoted an entire day to promoting the student library card. So every one of the students looked at the student library card in their classroom and had some librarians and library staff provide resources and information, as well as provide free book giveaways. We really love this idea as an engagement way with students. So we're going to roll out a template this fall that we can promote to other schools as a way to promote the student library card. We also have engaged in some staff training as well this year and provided more additional support for our library staff to talk about the student library card. We are also actively participating in the Student Success Initiative, which is a state library initiative to support a upcoming California bill that requires all students to have a student library card by the end of 2026. So each week we collaborate with student library card managers across the state. We are also actively re-engaging some of our school districts that haven't been as engaged in the past, because we are renewing our memorandums of understanding set to expire this July. And we will have more information on the final report of this year. Next, we'll look at our SJ Learns partners for this year. We've had this is from the fall, where we have current data because we're still in the spring. So we've had 605 total students. That's 69% of the total goal of students that they were projected to serve, available at 16 schools at 4 local education agencies. And we do a final report on that as well coming next academic year. And then Tutoring Matters. It is our final year of work for Tutoring Matters. Tutoring Matters came out of a different set of funds that were associated with American Rescue Pen dollars. So we are closing that out this year, and we've at present have served 33 schools and 2 community learning centers 3,000 total students, averaging about 87 hours of tutoring time per student. And we will provide, again, a full report of those initiatives over the last few years this next academic year. So that was a really quick, high-level overview of all of the work that we do. I am more than happy, of course, to answer questions or hear any feedback you have. I always appreciate your thoughtful, strategic questions, especially on any of this material. I would really welcome and value your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. First, do you have any public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay, then we move on to commission discussion. Commissioner Kuczynski.
Okay, so while you're going through the data in the beginning, I noticed a few different things. This one regarding Filipinos. They have a whole separate category and a much higher literacy and math rate. So what I'm asking you is, do you know why this is? And how did you get this data to come to these conclusions?
Yeah, thank you. That data is drawn from our county partners at the Santa Clara County Office of Education. There is a nonprofit partner called Kids in Common, and each year they produce something called a data book, which looks at educational outcomes for youth in Santa Clara County. It is fascinating. There's one every year. I literally just, they do it at the end of April, so that's hot off the press data for you. I can't really speak to the stratification of racial groups. I'm not really sure exactly how that comes to be. Maybe somebody else, library staff might be able to better answer that. But I could also, of course, go back to Kids in Common and ask them specifically about that data, how they gather that data report. It also comes from, both those are from statewide testing. So you have the third grade reading scores as well as the 8th grade math scores. So I believe that comes from statewide testing, but I could just also double check for you too. Thank you. Good question.
Okay, yeah, about that. Yeah, so I was just wondering if you knew why, like the socioeconomic reasons behind why, or just like equity.
I do not. I can
No.
definitely take a look and kind of think a little bit more deeply about it. Thank you.
Would you mind sending me the link?
Oh yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, the data book is free and available for anyone to look at as well. It's a giant 100-page report, but it's a lot of the graphs are very interactive and there's a lot of information that you can glean from that. And again, it's countywide, so it's not specifically just San Jose, but it is, San Jose is the largest city in the Santa Clara County, so it does give you a representative sample.
Commissioner Pradeep Kumar.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me? So thank you so much for your presentation. I was really glad to hear more about the specifics about the expanded learning program. I just had one quick question. So if I'm not wrong, the expanded learning programs mainly serves K through 8 students, am I right?
Yeah, mostly for the most part. That's where we do our focus area. And that specifically comes from the SJ Learns program, which is those city funds that are for our K through 8 students.
I was wondering for especially the tutoring matters slide. Do you think there's potential to incorporate like a peer-to-peer tutoring, I guess, or a mentorship component where like a high school student could, tutor someone who's in middle school? So that will open up like a volunteer opportunity for a high school student while providing, mentorship or like, I don't know, a tutoring service that someone in middle school might need.
Yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of the partners that we provide funds to employ mentorship models in which they train not only youth in high school, but college age youth on a particular curriculum. And they provide tutoring in math and reading, both virtually and in person. I have been learning a lot about one-on-one and high-dose tutoring, and you are definitely right that there is a lot of potential good academic outcomes when near peer youth mentor each other in academics.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I can, share the full report once that's done as well in the next academic year, so you can drill down more into that question if you're interested.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Any other commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Liu.
Okay, I have questions. And I'm gonna jump from place to place because there's so much exciting things to ask about. First of all, so I'm seeing on that unit work plan, I'm seeing SJ Learns and the tutoring programs. I know that the majority of them are at the library branches. I'm wondering if the library has explored going into schools and offering it sort of as like an after-school program at the physical site. And I know programs in Eastside like city year programs or YMCA after schools have been able to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, so SJ Learns and Tutoring Matters are city funds that actually do just that.
Yeah.
They provide after school and out of school time programming off the library premises.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're and maybe I can do some more clarifying questions too there. So there are programs that we fund either at the school district level,
Yeah.
where the school district staff provide after school programming, or it is a third party partner or vendor working in cohort with a school district to provide services after school.
Yeah.
And those services can be your general after school programs that you might have remembered from your elementary school days that happen, as soon as the school bell finishes off till, 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening
Yeah.
and have like specific academic and social emotional goals. And tutoring is a little bit more concentrated of a program in which one-to-one or one to small group tutor for high dosage is a couple of times a week, as well as a 30-minute period on specific academic subjects, mainly math and reading.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And then the library card usage, I know that there are about 93,000 library cards. How often do you have data on how often those are being used, or what percentage of that 93,000 is active?
That was one of my first questions when I started here, was that exact same engagement question. We are still trying to sort of figure that out. It's a little bit tricky with the current systems that we're using to sort of measure engagement. What we are seeing, what we're going to be exploring in that final report is engagement in different ways other than library checkouts. We
Yeah.
have a lot of e-resources that are being utilized in the classroom with student library cards. So kind of trying to tell that story, as well as ebooks as well. So your question is right on the money of what we are looking to answer as well.
Yeah. And for the student library card, after say a high school or senior graduates, do they still hold on to that student library card, or do they or do they have to apply, or do they automatically transition into an adult full-on library card?
That's a good question. And it's making me think that that is a really big area of opportunity that we need to engage in, is high school seniors graduating out of the student library card and into a general card. They do not retain that when they age out of the program. We are constantly updating because students come in and out of schools all the time. But I think what we could do better is transitioning them into a general card, because it does have different permissions and different obligations as a library card holder.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
And then my last question focuses on a specific group of students within the data that was captured in that report. And specifically, I want to ask how the library, through your program or other programs, supports students with disabilities, especially people with special needs. I know, that's a group that requires a lot of that one-on-one focus and has very unique needs that needs to be supported through, more training even on the staff side. So I was wondering, with the programs that you've outlined today, how do they support specific groups with special needs?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. I would say that's an area of growth for expanded learning library-based programs, for sure. I know that our early education department has really been leading the charge on our programmatic-based supports for students with disabilities before they get to the school. You're right in believing that a lot of the school provides a lot of services, and it's really at the school level where they start to identify what those needs are with various individualized education plans or 504s, things you might be familiar with.
Right.
So there are those supports there. So it's really trying to figure out where the library can support. It is a question that we have asked previously of our SJ Learns grantees and our Tutoring Matters to sort of tease out those questions around social emotional work.
Right.
It's come up before in some of our, we do site visits at those locations, so that's come up. But I believe that's an area of growth for us. We definitely have to go back and do some more thinking about where we would support our students.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then, I'm looking at that initial data, and that initial data was, taken when folks were in the third and eighth
Mhm.
grade. And, imagine when folks go through that education, everyone, will be at certain different levels, but
Mhm.
especially students with disabilities will be more behind. And
Mhm.
especially as the school district is transitioning folks, into the workforce or other opportunities.
Mhm.
That's where, those disparities and those inequities are a little wider.
Yep.
So I'd love to see the library, especially with these programs, since
Mhm.
you are previewing them, but with other programs, focus and highlight, and also bring awareness about the importance of addressing the needs of folks with special needs.
Mhm.
Any other commissioners have questions? Oh, Commissioner Mishra.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I had a quick question about the unit work plan that you mentioned earlier in the slides. Do you mind elaborating more on the after school or the out of school programs and how they're structured, how they're implemented? Because I was a little curious about what kinds of specific programs are offered, who facilitates them, how students are selected or how they're encouraged to participate, and any goals or outcomes expected from these programs.
Yeah, thank you. Great question. That's really referring to all of the library after school programs that we host at our 24 branch locations. And there was a wide variety of different types of programs that we offer, which is the beauty of the library. It kind of meets you where you're at in your educational journey. Um, and they can be everything from a 6 week STEM series for middle schoolers focusing on weather, for example, that we work with a dedicated volunteer who is a former meteorologist and just wants to give back to their community and has this wonderful idea for a program. Or it's staff led. There's been a question in the community, or parents have said, I would like to do a XYZ program, and staff develop a program. Or it is a community partner that comes in and offers a um, program around art because they're the San Jose Art Museum and they want to do a specific program. Those are just general examples. The work that Expanded Learning is working to do is to offer a few more programs that are available, a little bit more system-wide, that wherever library you go into, that program is happening. We have that with some of our other age groups that we support at the library, and Expanded Learning is looking to engage in that. So that is the STEM program that I was talking about, of offering a system-wide program throughout the library system. But we have a wonderful variety. Most of those 82,000 library program, or those programs throughout the city, do come from San Jose Public Library. So there's a wide variety, and they're mostly, I think one of your other questions was around marketing. Is that right? And they're mostly marketed at a branch level, as well as on our website, to sort of gain local support. The Saber program in particular is one that we are focusing on those particular locations because we want to make sure that we're serving kids in those neighborhoods with that type of program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do any other commissioners have questions? I have a question. So this presentation is mainly about the current state and what we're doing right now.
Mhm.
What are some things that you think could be implemented in the future partnerships, anything that you might want to implement in terms of programs? What's the future look like for expanded learning?
This is my favorite question. I'm so glad it's my final question. I really have been inspired by the work of a lot of things, but one of the things that I've been very inspired by is the work of SJ Learns and of Tutoring Matters. A lot of the data, especially around third grade and leading levels, is very disheartening and concerning. And there's a lot of work to be done outside of the school classroom about getting kids ready to learn to read, or ready to read and learning reading. We see a lot of students and parents come into the library because their parents said this, or their teacher said the library is the place to go to learn to read. And I think there's a gap there. We have wonderful resources and material and staff and programs, but what we can really grow is those very direct learning, some of those reading fundamentals beyond ABC, phonics, basics, so we get the fluency up there and we can work with students. So that's really where I want to spend a lot of our time. This has been a big question, I think, for libraries in the last couple of years, as we've seen reading scores go down across the board nationwide. So I think there's a lot of area of growth there. Yeah, that's one of my biggest. I have a lot of newfound interest and knowledge in high dose tutoring as one of the ways in which that we can help support that, because there's a lot of statistics out there and great research that says that that is really helping academic achievement. And perhaps because it's 7:30 on a Monday, I can't think of all my wonderful ideas, but go ahead and ask Ms. Kalambi. I have lots of ideas if you ever want to give more money to the library and clone me or clone any of our library staff who can help support it.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Final call. Do any commissioners have questions? If not, thank you so much. It's
You're
great to see you
welcome.
again around the Youth
Yeah,
Commission.
you too. Have a wonderful summer, everybody.
Thank you.
Mhm.
You too. Moving on then to item 6, reports and informational only. We will start with the council liaisons report from Anthony Montez on Zoom.
Can y'all hear me okay? Oh, I can't hear you, so I'm
Yes,
gonna.
we can. Thank you.
Okay, perfect, great. Hey, good evening, youth commissioners. My name is Anthony Montes. I'm the Community Relations Coordinator for Councilmember Pamela Campos. First, I'd like to thank the Youth Commission for planning an excellent tree planting event at the Basking Ridge Park in the Basking Ridge community in the outskirts of District 2. Tree planting went great, and then having it combined with the beautification event was spectacular. I really enjoyed seeing the council member, painting electrical boxes with some of y'all and with some of the residents in the area. So that's the kind of engagement that we want to continue investing in. In District 2, we want to bring more of those tree planting and beautification efforts into the district in the long term as far as part of our community relations engagement strategy. All right, with that, I think we can dive in. It's been a crazy time. We are getting close to that June adoption of the budget. I think last time I was here, I mentioned some of it, specifically regarding Measure E, and I think I won't go too much into that, but I'll just say that what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that San Jose understands that we need to focus on the youth, we need to focus on children, we need to focus on families at every phase of the housing continuum, right? So that's ensuring that we prevent folks from falling into homelessness in the first place. The council member she likes to say that it's $4,000 roughly to keep someone housed. It's $40,000 to get them from unsheltered homelessness into a shelter, right? So it is a investment. It's a good investment to make sure that we have good prevention dollars. We have good prevention programming at the city of San Jose. There was a McKinley, I think it's Veto study that showed that 2,200 kids 2,200 students are homeless in San Jose. It is one of the biggest in the country. And there is probably there was an analysis that was done when they did the creek and waterways abatement, when they had to clear the encampments. They found that 30% of the folks that were living along the creeks were single women with children. And there's another section of like foster youth that will term out from they'll turn 18 and they don't have the support system to, get some runway. It takes a little while to get some job experience, develop your skills, and be able to house yourself, especially here in San Jose. So these are some of the populations that we want to make sure that the city is focusing on as it develops, for instance, shelters, right? With this Measure E reallocation, we're going to get roughly 90% is going to go into building interim shelters, right? And we want to make sure that we get more than that. Or sorry, that we get more into prevention rather. So, and not only that we get specific shelter for people with children and families. One of the things that you'll see is we only have, I think, one shelter that's actually dedicated for families that has the kind of amenities that a family needs. Just like the basics of having some crawl space, right? Being able to explore your surroundings. This is early childhood development that some kids are not getting because they don't really have the shelter or the housing to support that development. So that is something that we're going to continue to push, make sure that we get those prevention dollars, and not only that, brace ourselves for huge disinvestment from the federal government when it comes to early childcare and early learning, right? With Head Start being on the chopping block, all the different housing vouchers and housing programs at the federal level that people rely on, that might be gone in the next 6 to 12 months. So the city needs to brace itself for major disinvestment in families. And we're seeing this allocation of 90% for interim shelter as and not only that, it's 90% for interim shelter, and it's not going to pay for the entirety of what we need in terms of our shelter build out. So that means that we're going to have some general fund dollars that are going to get eaten into this, right? So we're investing in this problem here, trying to get people that are on the streets into interim shelter, but we have no place to put them after that, right? And now we're going to see people losing their vouchers, losing the support from the federal government. Right now, there's a big fight about Medicaid, right? Whether to cut it or putting, at the federal level, they're going to put more work requirements, more bureaucracy. That's going to require more administration dollars, and it's going to make Medicaid more expensive at the state level. So we're seeing this disinvestment. We want to make sure that the city is nimble in the way that it allocates its resources so that it can respond accordingly, and it can respond to some of the pressures that working families are about to experience. So that's really a big concern for the council member. Last time we spoke, there was some questions about PRNS. So things got released, so now I can speak a little bit more about that. When we first saw the proposed cuts, it was a few buckets that were concerning to us. The first bucket is seniors wellness grants. This is just like about $500,000. And this is a PRNS program that actually supports a lot of nonprofits. So it's direct grants to nonprofits that provide either activities or even some like essential services to senior populations in the city. Right now, I think D6 is seeing some cuts here. There's a lot more pressure now. More council members are starting to realize that it impacts some constituencies. It impacts some people that are serving populations that they're accountable to. So there's some questions about why this was cut, and the city said that they wanted to make sure that they protected their own core services that they provide to seniors, and by cutting this grant program for nonprofits, they're able to make sure that they can provide those core services. So that was something that was concerning to us. Another thing that I know this is part of your youth commission MBA was college and career, workforce development. So one of the things, this isn't as concerning. This is just kind of a mini update. I'm sure maybe you've heard this. The college and career pathway program is going to shift from the source of funding, the foundation for San Jose Public Libraries is going to start taking on funding that program. And that program helps folks with doing college preparedness, but also like has a really great suite of curriculum to help folks develop some skills. And it even there's a pipeline that goes into San Jose Works too. So that was concerning to see that that's on the chopping block, but it's going to get backfilled with foundation dollars, right? The foundation is committed and they've been prepared for that transition for a while. San Jose Works, I know, is important to y'all. So San Jose Works, the youth program, which is subsidizes high school age, like yourselves, students, and it places them in jobs and basically pays them a wage to work those jobs. They are going to grab 50 of those spots and move them into unpaid San Jose Works. So there's the youth part of it, and then there's like the Work to Future San Jose piece of it. So 50 of those subsidized spots are going to go into the unsubsidized. So there will still be an opportunity for young people who want job and work experience to participate in that. It's just that they won't have that little under $500,000 to subsidize those wages. And they're also cutting, I can't remember if it was one person or a half-time person. So to make up for that, right? So they don't need that person anymore. Then the last thing that I'll share that we were concerned with is the library has a really great program called the Family, Friends, and Neighborhood Network. And basically it's, childcare is when you have a facility and you have, permit and codes and all these other costs, rent, you have facilities, that kind of childcare, on-site facility childcare is really expensive. So one of the ways that people can get around that is having childcare that's like out of someone's house, right? It's like a small business essentially, and it's low cost, right? It's much cheaper than like a facility or something like that. And the library had a program that kind of helped those providers, those, more affordable providers working out of their home, resources, certification, support, things of that nature, to get their business up and running. That is going to be eliminated. That's about $500,000 entirely. So that is, we want to make sure that people who want to provide that kind of childcare have the resources and the abilities. This isn't the only resource that's out there. Other agencies and other nonprofit resources that support that kind of development, like childcare out of your home or something lightweight like that. But the library isn't going to be offering it anymore. So those are some of like the neighborhood services, park related things that I wanted to flag for you. I wasn't able to at our last commission meeting, and just want to give you an update on that. And then I'm going to leave y'all with, I think this is the last meeting for some of y'all, and I'd like some reflections from you. If I can ask a question from you, this is only my second youth commission, so I'm going to be doing this hopefully for the next 4 or 8 years. I want to make sure that we, as a council and as a council liaison, bring you into this process early, like starting in the fall when the next budget cycle comes up, and that we engage with you in a meaningful way. So I have a question, what kind of engagement would you like us for the new commission that's coming in, right? Do you have any tips? You have any preferences? Do you have any ideas for us to not just come in here, check boxes and talk to you, but actually meaningfully get you at the table to understand what issues you care about? So with that, I'll conclude my presentation.
Thank you for recapping some budget things that have been going on and for being there with us at the tree planting and cleanup. I'd like to engage my returning commissioners next year. Is there anything you guys would like to see in terms of engagement with council offices for next year, since you guys will be here and can actually go through that with the council office. Anyone want to start? You want to start? Commissioner Pradeep Kumar.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Before I start, I was really happy to see a lot of the council officials from District 2 at the tree planting event, and I was excited to connect with you guys. I think for next year, one thing I would like to see is having more council member support when it comes to youth commission events, whether it be like attending them or even if it be attending, your respective district's YAC meetings. I think that would make a huge impact on how engaged youth are with local government if they have more, I guess, conversation with local leaders. I know a lot of YACs have had meetings with, council officials, but I think increasing that engagement is something that I would like to see and something that would help the rest of the youth commissioners and the members of each district's youth advisory councils.
All right, thank you for your presentation. I really like the way you give your presentations. I think it's very straightforward and it gives us the information that we need and that we often don't hear from people working in the city. One thing I would like to see next year, I would like these reports to continue giving us this information that we don't hear often, but I also would agree with Neha and I'd like a little bit more council member support, kind of in a different way from what she said. I would like the council members in their offices, it'd be great if they could reach out to us more often and invite us to their events because we represent the youth and we're here to get involved in city affairs. So if we were involved with the district offices and we helped out at those events and represented youth there, I feel like it really bridged the gap between the youth commission work and the council member work. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And I'll start drafting a better agenda for these report outs. Well, and since you're asking about upcoming events, May 28th, Wednesday morning. So I think for me, let me back up. You all represent different districts, and I try to talk broadly about city stuff as a liaison. I can get into our district. I spend a lot of time as a community relations coordinator with the constituents, with community. So that's why I don't bring that. But if that's something that you're interested in, and maybe if I can do a little work on the front end and say, hey, other district offices, do you have a list of events that are going on, right? And maybe I can report them out in this body. You think that would be useful to have a list of just different events happening, so each district commissioner is aware, or is it more helpful to have that office reach out to their commissioner and say, we want you to come help, or we want you to help spread the word? Some guidance would be great.
So I was thinking of the council member office reaching out to us, but the list of events would also be helpful.
Okay.
I'm certainly open to attending those events, and I'm sure the other commissioners would appreciate it as well.
Right. So then let me really quick, D2, I know D2 stuff. We're going to have a coffee in the crosswalk at Edenville Elementary. This is the Roundtable Neighborhood Association. Is going to be doing this with us. It starts at, I know some of you are already on summer vacation, so trying to get up at 7:30 doesn't sound great. But it'll be from 7:30 to 8:15. And then after that, we're going to have a neighborhood walk where we'll look at some of the troublesome intersections that pose safety issues for folks, and also maybe look at some areas with bad blights and gang activity as well. So that'll be Wednesday, September 28th. And then we also have an event that I'm not allowed to share yet on June 3rd. We'll get more updates on that in the next 4 or 5 days. That'll be here at City Hall, hopefully. And then we have a mayor's town hall. The mayor is going to have a budget town hall in District 2 on Thursday this week. It starts at 7. And Councilmember Campos will deliver opening remarks and then hand it off to the mayor to do his budget overview. And I think there's other activities that I'll save for the next meeting. And oh, actually, I don't think we'll have another meeting, so I'll just follow up offline with some other activities.
Okay. Do any other commissioners have discussion? Commissioner Liu.
Yeah, so this is just a clarifying question. So when you mentioned you said we and then you mentioned a few topics of children, youth, and families as priorities, and then you mentioned um senior wellness flashes to that budget. What was that the perspective of the council, or was that the perspective of the council office and your council member?
That is the perspective of the council member in this council office, District 2. Right,
Perfect. So
yeah.
Thank you for that. So my follow-up question is, what other, because, council liaison reports, we'd love to get the lay of the land. My next follow-up question for you is, what are other council members' priorities that are being debated on as we go into this last stretch of the budget season?
Okay, yeah, and I'll be as neutral as possible, just to
Yeah.
give you a lay of the land. Two things that you're going to hear about, that I guarantee you're going to hear about. One thing you may have already heard about was the mayor wanted to change the charter, really rigorous process to do pay raises for council members, their senior staff, as well as department heads and their senior staff. I think that's right. And that would have required like a charter change, and then it would have a big issue with it was that it was going to supplant the authority of the city manager to do some of that work and to do some of the pay raises and the salary stuff. So that actually got watered down and basically pulled by the mayor last week. Now it's something a little different. Still not something that a lot of council members were. There was, I think, Domingo Candelas and David Cohen during a study session last week expressed concern about what it would mean. This updated policy that the mayor proposed instead of the pay for performance would essentially get 5% of the city council's salary and would hold it and would release it based off of whether or not they met some of their council goals. That one of the things that some folks brought up was we have competing interests sometimes between what the city council broadly prioritizes sometimes isn't as important in the district, right? Homelessness may be a huge issue in District 2 because we have interim shelter, we have safe parking sites, and we have transients coming in and out of the district. But it might not be as big of an issue in like Willow Glen, right? So how can we all row in the same boat and then be forced to basically like 5% of our salary is going to be contingent on us meeting those goals. But if my constituents have other needs and other priorities, I'm going to have to say, well, we need to meet these goals because my salary is tied to it. That was just one. I think that was David Cohen who brought that one up. So that's been relatively contentious. So if you're asking me like things you want to look out for, that is definitely one of them. The other one, obviously, I'm sure you've heard about this, is the responsibility to shelter ordinance. So that what we learned from the study session recently is that even if you do arrest them, a homeless person, for declining shelter 3 times in a row, then in an 18-month, right? Even if you arrest them, they get processed, they get detained, they get processed, and then they get released. So we're not actually getting them to shelter. We're just now giving them a criminal record. So that's something that the council has been increasingly been concerned about actually implementing that proposal. And it's been tied in with like, $2 million for a quality of life unit for San Jose police department that would go and do some of that work, right? Go and engage lived-in vehicles, go and engage encampments and abate them. Also, another million or so for the Olive program, the oversized lived-in vehicle program. That has been contentious in that we're not seeing an actual permanent solution because you just kick an RV out of a neighborhood, it's going to go to another neighborhood. So I may have walked this past week with some constituents in the Vista Park neighborhood, documenting and reporting some lived-in vehicles, which they've already done, right? But we're just trying to be advocates. Those vehicles will end up in a different part of the district or in a different district, and now we're just playing a game of whack-a-mole. So that's something that's been brought up and has been continued. So I would say I'll leave it at those three because the study sessions got really good, really good back and forth, really good debate, the way council's supposed to work. So flagging those for you.
Thank you for that. And then really quickly, just because I'm old and about to term out in 11 days, something that I really appreciated about previous council reports was, I'd encourage you, and this is unsolicited advice, take it however you will, but I encourage us to brief us like you would like a council member. I know a lot could happen in a month, and if you could present those facts and give us a good lay of the information that is being discussed at the council level, that's great. Our support staff does a great job of trying to help us with updating on what's happening that's notable on the council, but our youth commissioner staff doesn't always have the capacity to do that, and we're also full-time students and we don't have the capacity to do that. So that's area that I think if that it would really help us and future commissioners to be able to learn more about.
Appreciate that feedback. If it works for you, I'll do my best to do like recaps for the city council meetings. Bring forth anything from committee meetings that are notable. And then I'll also look at your MBA. I glanced at it earlier today. And I will filter priority items through there as well, so that I'm bringing things of interest to you all. And then I'm also keeping you appraised of what's been going on with council.
Great, thank you.
Any other commissioners have anything to add? Well, I'll say that in terms of answering your question, I think that just more direct engagement with the youth commission, because what we do is we typically have our survey that gets sent out sometime in November and it ends in like mid to late December. And so you talk about mentioning or engaging about the budget in the fall, which is around, I'd say late fall would be around the time that we finish that survey. And so after we finish that survey, we host the budget summit, which Councilmember Campos was at, and then we send our letter to city council. And so I think the only time that we actually directly engage with the council office during that process of creating the letter is through the budget summit. And so if there is more potentially interactions with council members, maybe we could explain what specifically we're asking for, because I think that sometimes with the letter, we try to keep it brief and concise, but some of the context behind what we're saying is lost. And so maybe if there was some background behind what we're saying, some potential reasons or anecdotes for the things that we request, I think that would really help not only us be better versed with what council is thinking and saying about our MBAs, but also you guys as well, to understand where we're coming from. And some that face-to-face engagement doesn't have to obviously be in a meeting, but if it's through written communication, whatever that looks like, I think would be very helpful for next year's commission. But thank you for your report. And yes, I think that since we're students in school and we have homework and other things, I think that we don't always have the time to tune into council meetings. And so I think reports would be great personally, but always up to you and however you want to structure those reports. But yeah, those would be great. Thank you so much for your report, by the way.
Thank you. Have a good night, y'all.
Thank you. We will then move on to the Parks and Recreation Neighborhood Services report from Lauren Box.
Good evening, commissioners and members of the public. My name is Lauren Box, Recreation Superintendent for the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Services. Thank you guys so much for having me this evening. Forgive me while I get some technology up. All right. So since I last reported to the Youth Commission, PRNS has been quite busy getting some accolades and recognizing our amazing staff. So most recently, or earlier this month, I should say, we celebrated Older Americans Month. So members of our older adults team came to City Hall and received a commendation from City Council and the mayor for their work in supporting the older Americans across our great city and beyond through our senior nutrition program, our special events, and the services that we bring into our programs to support older adults in navigating life. And then I'm proud to say, as part of one of my teams, one of my staff, Sergio Hernandez, received the Region 5 Expanded Learning Excellence Award. He oversees our ACES program out at Summerdale Elementary School in the Berryessa Union School District. And so he received an award for all of his great work over the last 3 years, supporting the the ACES program out there and developing the partnership with the school district and the staff and parents and caregivers. And then following that, we also recently celebrated our After School Professionals Week. So those are our staff that are providing after school care through our Rock After School program, our teen centers, youth centers, ACES, like I've just mentioned. And that's all these fabulous people that you see here. That's over 50 people across the city, serving about 1,000 youth through all of those programs I previously mentioned. So without all of them, none of the work that we do would be done. And so we're very grateful for their support and their commitment to supporting some of San Jose's youngest residents in after-school programs across the city. And in the spirit of education, we also celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week, specifically for our San Jose Recreation Preschool staff. These fabulous folks, there's about 30 of them, of our instructional staff that support 18 classrooms and about 250 of some of San Jose's earliest learners, and supporting them in their social, emotional, and academic achievements, and getting them prepared for their next adventure in school, whether that's transitional kindergarten or kindergarten itself. We're grateful to have them join our fold and support our early learners. Kind of moving forward, the department is still conducting recruitments this year. Right now, it's a little bit slower because of the budget time. We try to wrap things up with the fiscal year. So right now, we're only focusing on our park rangers and our senior park ranger classification. So if you know anybody that has a passion for the outdoors and connecting with residents, the park ranger position is a fabulous role within a great department, but I am a little biased. But there are other opportunities in the city of San Jose as well. And all of those resources can be found on the Human Resources webpage. Breaking it down into our specific departments. So the Recreation Division will be hosting summer camps. Most of those summer camps are going to begin June 9th. There are a few that start a little bit earlier. So if you know anybody that's looking for that early care, definitely check us out. Our summer registration has opened as of May 3rd. It was both online and in person at 10 a.m. But we wanted to share some key dates that are coming up with school ending, so families can make note of it. Our fall registration, yes, I said fall. We are retaking registration for our fall season in July. So if you are a scholarship eligible recipient, meaning that you've completed a scholarship application and that's been approved, you'll be able to register for fall classes and activities beginning July 9th. And then our Rock After School program, which I mentioned earlier, they will be having registration for each of the school sites that we are in contract with July 12th. And then our older adult programs, you'll be able to register for those July 16th. And then anybody else that I didn't previously mention will be able to register for any classes, programs, or special events on July 19th. Oops. Ooh, Sorry. And if you're looking for a special event, speaking of, we have quite a few that are coming up. So at Berryessa, they are hosting a summer ice cream social on Friday, July 11th. Registration is required. They don't do walk-ins. It's $5. It'll be a great night full of ice creams and music, games, and all the good stuff. We welcome you guys to come out. You can register both online and in person. And if you need any help, you can feel free to contact the team at Berryessa, and they'd be more than happy to assist you. And in the spirit of summer, our team over at the Almaden Community Center is hosting a Gen to Gen event, and they're going to be blending up some delicious summer smoothies. So it's an opportunity for our older adult community and some of our youth to get together, to interact, play games, and share, fun stories of the yesteryears. That event is free to register for. We do encourage folks to register just so we make sure we have enough smoothie supplies available for everybody. And lastly, this one already happened, but it's definitely one to keep your eye out for because they do happen every so often. This past weekend, Roosevelt Community Center hosted a hockey clinic. So for those of you that are aspiring San Jose Sharks players, this is a great opportunity to come out to check out the rink in and of itself, but also work on skills, techniques, and have a little gameplay with peers that are there. No experience is required, but they do ask for folks to register for the event. You don't need to bring anything because we have everything for you. You just need to show up and ready to hit the ground running or roll on the ground, I guess. Moving over to our counterparts in the Parks Division, our friends over at Emma Prush Farm Park are hosting a series of Saturday events that are suitable for the whole family. There is a registration fee required for that, but you can get a tour of the park and feed some of the furry friends there. We encourage folks to check out the park. If you haven't been, they also recently got a new play structure there. That's quite fabulous. You can see the chicken from 101 as what I've been told. So definitely check that out for your fun Saturday events, especially with the Memorial Holiday coming up. And then in the spirit of our parks, our volunteer management unit continues to host their Sunday series. So if you're looking to chisel away at your volunteer hours or just for a fun family event that's appropriate for everybody, they are hosting those every Sunday, and more details can be found on the PRNS calendar for each park that they'll be out on Sunday, and then to complete the volunteer form as well. And continuing with our friends in parks, we have a busy summer lineup coming about. So June 8th is the next Viva Calle SJ. It'll be Library to the Lake. This is a brand new route. So if you've never had the opportunity to partake in Viva Calle, I encourage you guys to do so. It's a great opportunity and a new way to see San Jose. So more details for the June 8th route are available on the department's social media page and on our website as well. And then flipping for other fun summer activities, our Viva Parks team will be hosting a series of events throughout the summer. They'll be doing movie Thursdays, games in the park. Many of these will start at 6 p.m. and go till 10. Sunset definitely determines the start and end of the movie. So check out the department website and Facebook for more details on that. And then if you're a little artsy, we'll be offering Paint the City SJ. It's a painting class that's led in our parks by our in-house art instructors for the community. Those events, do require pre-registration, and you can find those on Eventbrite and the department website as well for more of those events coming up. And lastly, we just wanted to put a plug in for everybody that our park survey is now out. And so we are asking everybody to tell us what you think of our parks. How can we make them better? What would you like to see? We take that feedback very, very seriously and read it and use that data that we collect to guide our plans for the upcoming year. This survey is now open and will be through September 30th. So anytime multiple responses are accepted, if you have specific questions, you can reach out to the department and we'd be more than happy to assist you. And it is available in multiple languages. And with that, I am here for any questions or comments from the council.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments about the presentation? I just want to say that I think that the opportunity to go in the rink and see the Sharks facilities and area is pretty cool because I grew up a Sharks fan and I'm not the best right now, but I know the hockey playoffs are on. I've been watching, so that's definitely cool.
Yes, definitely. We're cheering them on in spirit.
I know. They got good young players though. But I digress. Well, I don't think anyone has any questions, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Seeing your reports next year. Moving on to the San Jose Library report from Vidya Columbi.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Vidya Kilambi, Division Manager with the library, and I'm here to present the library report. As you heard today, summer learning kicks off June 1st, and San Jose Public Library invites everyone to join the summer learning program. It lasts through July 31st for a chance to win fun prizes for reading over the summer months. Families will have the opportunity to enjoy fun and educational events such as petting zoos, magic shows, digital discovery workshops, and more. For a complete list of all the library's summer programs, please visit sjpl.org/summer. There are also many opportunities to volunteer over the summer months. Please please share this information with all your yaks and all your friends, and you too, of course, sjpl.org/volunteer. The library will kick off its 17th annual graphic novel making contest on June 1st. This contest, as you heard, invites people of all ages to create their own graphic novel for a chance to win prizes. The community will also have the opportunity to attend programs throughout the summer to inspire comic creation and comic-themed crafts. Everyone is invited to attend a special award ceremony on September 13th, where the winners will be recognized and presented with their prizes. Upcoming celebrations at SJPL include Pride Month. It's a time to honor the vibrant cultures and significant contributions of the LGBTQ+ community. Pride Month serves as a celebration of love, identity, and the ongoing fight for equality and justice. For events, recommended reads, and online resources, please visit our website sjpl.org/Pride Month. June is also Immigrant Heritage Month, and it's a perfect time to celebrate the diverse stories, cultures, and contributions of immigrants who help shape our communities and enrich our lives. Join us in exploring powerful narratives, inspiring achievements, and curated resources that honor the journeys of immigrants. The library will be closed on Juneteenth, Thursday, 19th, 2025. The library's online collection will always be available. E-learning resources and streaming services will not be impacted and will be available at sjpl.org. And that concludes my library report. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you. Do any commissioners have questions? Okay. To be honest, I don't either because we've been getting updates about all the things that have been happening. But thank you so much, and looking forward to what the library does in the summer. Thank you. With that, we will be moving to our chair report, which will be given by me. So just a couple housekeeping things. For our end of year award ceremony, everyone needs to post their YAC nominations ASAP. If you haven't already, thank you to everyone that already has. For seniors that are writing farewell speeches, if you could get those done by the end of May, that would be great. We have a civic engagement summit hosted by District 1 that will be taking place this Saturday at this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library from 2 to 4:30 p.m. And then we also have AIM hosted in coordination with District 4 and other YACs on Friday, June 13th from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. There was also a survey that was sent out by the library for a community engagement phase of their plan. So if you could, please go to www.sjpl.org/survey to fill out that survey. They would really like our feedback and engagement. There's also on June 11th, 2025, a lunch with librarians for stakeholders to gather feedback. on SJPL facilities and customer experience plan. If you can attend, this was specifically invited to us as current commissioners and also the future commissioners that will be on the commission next year. So it's also an opportunity to see if you're a senior who will be representing your district, and for the juniors and younger who will be on the commission with you next year. If you are attending that, please RSVP by May 30th, 2025. And since this is my final chair report, I would just like to say that it's been a pleasure to work with all of you this year. We've gotten to achieve a lot of things in our work plan. I've loved the engagement at these meetings. I think that every report has had so many great questions from all commissioners. And so I commend you for your engagement in and out of meetings this year. With that, I will move to commissioners' reports per city district, starting with District 1 Commissioner Mishra.
Hello, everyone. I have a few updates regarding my YAC. On April 25th, we invited District 1 Councilmember Rosemary Kamei to attend our YAC meeting. We had a wonderful time there. She presented about herself and the work she does in D1. Following her presentation, all 4 of our YAC teams introduced their individual work plans and goals for the year. And then she offered thoughtful advice and feedback on each team's event proposals, which was really helpful. As for my civic engagement team, our event will be this Saturday on May 24th from 2 to 4:30 at King's Library. We'll kick off the event with a welcome and an introduction to what civic engagement really is. Our first keynote speaker will be Greg Zeman, who currently serves on the Santa Clara County Child Abuse Prevention Council, and we will have Councilmember Kamei share her experiences in civic engagement and her tips for youth to be more civically involved. We also plan to have a brief Q&A session followed by a fun poster making activity to spread more awareness on pathways to civic engagement. Our YAC is also part of AIM, which is in early June. We are in contact with UC Scout and will potentially have a speaker from the UC Berkeley Early Academic Outreach Program team to teach students about the UC application process. And that's all for me. And as Nolan said, it's been amazing to work with all of you these past 2 years, and thank you.
Thank you. District 2 Commissioner Pradeep Kumar.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I wanted to start off with final update about my District 2 YAC. We had a meeting at the beginning of May, just to end the year and to do some reflection on the things we've done and to discuss recruitment for next year and what we plan to do. I also had the opportunity to attend the tree planting with the District 2 Neighborhood Association and the mayor's team, where I got to interact with the District 2 council office officials. So that was very exciting. And I don't have much to say, but I just wanted to give a shout out to all the seniors and everyone at the commission. I'm super grateful for the opportunities I had to work with you guys, and especially for the seniors, I wish you all the best, in your future endeavors. I'm sure you guys are going to do amazing things, and we'll miss you a lot next year.
Thank you. District 5 Commissioner Liu.
Yes, so this month, we transitioned and helped transition the new District 5 Youth Commissioner onto the next seat. We updated our council member about all our final work plans. We also were planning another YAC meeting at the end of this month. We engaged in a Sumas Mayfair press conference earlier this week, and was part of a Peace Coalition meeting as well about a East Side youth center that's being debated right now amongst the Board of Trustees in the Albemarle Community High School District. And I just, wanted to say that I want to echo, what all of my other colleagues said. I've seen the Youth Commission over the past few years grow a lot, and I'm really proud of where we've been so far. It's probably my, hopefully none of my other commissioners from previous years are listening. Is probably my favorite group of folks that I've got to work with, and Neha, we'll do our best as seniors to make sure that we're missed even more in the next few days. But I'm sure that, seniors and I are going to be glad to join the hundreds of alumni that have come from this youth commission and have gone on to do great and exciting things. So thank you.
District 6 Commissioner Mansell.
Happy Monday, guys. Last happy Monday of this year. I just want to say thank you to Megan for that really sweet speech. We're all going to miss you so much. I feel like you're such a big part of this commission for like the past 3 years that I've been on it, and for like the many more years that you have continued to serve and that you have in the past. My yak is pretty much wrapped up. The new commissioner does go to my school, so I'm planning on reaching out to her soon just to like bridge that gap and get everyone like situated and like reoriented. And then I'm just helping plan the end of the year event and getting the senior posts out on Instagram. But I just want to echo what everyone else said and just like thank you for like the youth commission to everyone for these past years. And I wish all of you guys the best of luck, especially the returning commissioners. Have fun. That's going to be a lot of new people, but it's going to be good. But yes, good luck and thank you.
Thank you, District 7, Commissioner Boo.
Hello, everybody. Currently, I'm just transitioning from my position as commissioner to the next commissioner. I think it's been announced that the next commissioner is from my yak. His name is David, and I'm looking forward to helping him transition into the role as commissioner and take over the Youth Advisory Council and continue a lot of the projects that we worked on this past year. Besides that, I just wanted to say a few things to everybody. It's been great working with you guys. I wasn't really involved civically before I got involved with the youth commission, but it's honestly been such a great experience having this as like my inaugural experience like in civics and like civic engagement. Everyone's been amazing. I specifically want to shout out Zim, Megan, and Emily because you guys like have taught me a lot about everything, and it's just shaped me into like a better person. And to everybody else, thank you for just being available to chat about whatever it is, whether it be about senior year stresses or like our commission work. It's been great knowing everybody, and I look forward to seeing what everybody else does in the future, whether it be going to college or just continuing your work on the youth commission. And don't be a stranger. I'm always available. You guys all have my phone number and contacts. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, District 8, Commissioner Gonzalez Munoz.
Updates are we had a litter pickup on May 10th that had plus 35 volunteers that showed up. So that was really good. That was a really good litter pickup. As well as we had a second harvest food bank. We had it was this Saturday. We had the second harvest food bank and we served over 210 families. So that was a pretty big thing for us. And I'm pretty sure that should be it. But other than that, I just want to say thank you, Megan. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Zen. Thank you, all you guys, for helping me and everyone on the youth commission. And to whoever's going to college, I hope God blesses you, God guides you wherever you guys go and continue to go. And I hope God blesses you, Megan. God blesses you, Zen, Megan, and everyone on part of this team. And I hope God continues to bless you and your family and will always be with you guys. And as well as we're always going to be here. So if you guys need anything, you already know you already know us. You already know where we live. You already know where we at. You know we're here. So that's really basically it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night and as well as the rest of your career or whatever you guys decide to do.
Thank you, District 9, Commissioner Singh.
Yeah, so this month was pretty slow because of our AP season. And we didn't have a YAC meeting, but also to continue what all the other commissioners are saying, thank you everyone here for giving me the opportunity to have this experience while I served on this commission. You guys are all some of the best people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I'm very grateful to be part of this commission. Good luck to everyone who's continuing. And also thank you, Miss Megan, for the kind words earlier, as well as Miss Zim and Miss Emily for constantly supporting us throughout whatever we choose to do in our duties. It's been great knowing all of you, and I look forward to seeing what all of you guys do in the future. So yeah, thank you once again.
Yeah, in terms of the YAC, I didn't really do much either, due to AP exams and winding down the year. Was involved at the youth commission level with the end of year award ceremony, and I'm gonna start planning that as well as with the tree planting and beautification. But in terms of wrapping down the year, it's been quite the year, I'd say. Definitely had a lot of fun. To the seniors, good luck on your future endeavors. To the juniors, and to the sophomore who's currently out. Feel free to reach out. I know we'll be in college, but I'm sure that on behalf of everyone that we'd be happy to reach out. So whether it's Life or the Youth Commission or anything else, feel free to reach out. I'd like to thank library staff, Miss Malloy, Miss Sim, Miss Emily, Carla, Lizzie, and Vidya. I know that it's Monday at 8:23, and you guys are still out here supporting, and you guys have done that over many, many years. And so I can't thank you guys enough for the sacrifices that you guys have made towards us, and to everyone in the city who's taken time out of their Monday evenings to give us reports, like Miss Box. Thank you so much. And I've had a great 2 years. This has taught me a lot and given me a lot of opportunities. So thank you for the opportunity to do so and serve on this commission. Well, I'll take it to Citywide Commissioner Kuczewski.
All right, so updates for this month. Right now, I'm still planning our last YAC meeting to wrap up this year. Once again, we are doing a reorg for next year, so I've been putting a lot of thought into it. I nominated one of my special YAC members to get a award for the award ceremony, and that is Kyle Park. So hats off to him. And then also this last weekend, I had the honor of going to the State of the City held by the mayor. I must say it was a really good event. And I really enjoyed being able to recognize some of the community residents who got awards. That was pretty cool, knowing some of them a little bit personally. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that's my report.
Thank you. We will then move on to item 7, items for future commission meeting agendas. Do we have any commissioners that would like to add items to future meeting agendas? This would be for the next fiscal year, so that would be for August 25th. All right, I'm going to assume no. So we're going to move on to item 8, meeting schedule and agenda items. Our next commission meeting will be not next month, but in a couple or more even months on Wednesday, August 25th, 2025 in council chambers. Item 9, adjournment. Last one. Does anyone motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Vu motions to adjourn.
I second.
Please vote on your screen. All right, the motion passes unanimously by a vote of 8-0. We are adjourned.